So have you ever felt like you don't have enough? You don't have enough time. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough success. You don't have enough love. You don't have enough faith. You don't have enough education. You don't have enough patience. You don't have enough discipline. You don't have enough balance. You don't have enough food. You don't have enough fun. You don't have enough friends. You don't have enough sex. You don't have enough laughter. You know, sometimes I feel like I don't have enough good jokes. And I'm going to prove that to you right now. So here's a little-known alternate creation story. On the first day of creation, God created the cow and said, "You must work in the field all day long and suffer under the sun, have calves, and give milk to support the farmer's family. And for this I will give you 60 years, a lifespan of 60 years." And the cow said, "Man, that's a kind of tough life for 60 years. How about if I do 20, I can give you back 40 years. So God agreed. On the second day of creation, God created the monkey and said, "Entertain people, do tricks, make funny faces, and just make them laugh. And for this, I'll give you a 20-year lifespan." And the monkey said, "Monkey tricks for 20 years? That's a kind of long time to perform and act silly. How about if I do 10 and I give you back 10 years? And God agreed. And on the third day of creation, God created the dog and said, "Sit all day by the door of your house and bark at anyone who comes in or who passes by. And for this, I'll give you a lifespan of 20 years. And the dog said, "That's a long time to be barking. How about if I do 10? I'll give you back 10. And God agreed. And on the fourth day, God created man and said, "Eat, sleep, play, have fun, do nothing, and enjoy yourself. And for this, I'll give you 20 years. And man says, "What? Only 20 years? How about if you give me the 20 years, and I'll take the 40 years that the cow gave, and I'll take the 10 years that the monkey gave, and I'll take the other 10 years that the dog gave." And God said, "Okay, but you asked for it." And so that is why for the first 20 years of life, we eat, sleep, play, do nothing, and enjoy ourselves. For the next 40 years, we work hard and slave in the sun to support our families. And for the next 20 years, then we do monkey tricks and entertain our grandchildren. And for our last 10 years, we sit on the front porch and bark at anyone who passes by. So, so last week, when we wrapped up our series, It's Time, and last week it was It's Time to Live, really talked about how we have these amazing lives, and we're the ones who get to choose how we live it. You know, we can live it intentionally, or we could live it unconsciously. We could live it joyously, or we could live it fearfully. And a part of choosing how we live our lives includes choosing how we see life, what we think about life, and what we believe about life. You know, we can choose to see life through the eyes of lack and limitation, or we can choose to see life through the eyes of prosperity and unlimited good. We can choose to see life from a scarcity mentality or an abundance mentality. We can choose to believe that there is not enough and never enough, or that there's always enough and more than enough. So I want you to kind of think about your life. When you look at your life, do you see more not enough or more than enough? Do you think not enough, or do you think more than enough? Do you believe not enough, or do you believe more than enough? You know, the Bible has a lot of tremendous promises of prosperity and abundance, and here are just a few. The 23rd Psalm says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." The book of Jeremiah, God says, "For surely I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you." Jesus said, "Whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you've received it and it will be yours, that all things are possible to those who believe." He said, "It's the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom." He said, "I came that you may have life and have it more abundantly." Now, do those sound like there's not enough? Or does it sound like there's more than enough for us? You know, Paul Zader said this. He said, "There is a natural law of abundance that permeates the entire universe, but it will not flow through the doorway of belief in lack and limitation." You know, we think that there's not enough a lot, but the truth is we live in an abundant universe. We live in a universe of unlimited good and infinite possibilities and endless opportunities. There are ideas for inventions and every single thing you could think of. There is an absolute abundance. There is more than enough, and we'll never run out of ideas for books, for movies, for art, for fashion, for songs. We're never going to run out of love. We're never going to run out of hope. We're never going to run out of joy. We're never going to run out of beauty. We're never going to run out of air or sun or sky or wisdom or goodness and kindness. Why? Because we live in an abundant universe. The only problem is we're not in tune with it. Our mind has been so conditioned into lack that we think and see lack and limitation and not enoughness all the time. And so here are the 8 things that really show that we are conditioned to believe not enough. Even though we live in abundance, here are the things that are signs that we condition our mind. The number one is worry. Anybody ever worry? We worry about our money, we worry about our family, our kids, we worry about everything. Worry is a sign that we don't believe there's enough. Jesus said that you can't add a single hour to your life by worrying. It ain't helping. The word worry means from the word Regan, which means to choke off the flow of abundance. The second thing we do is we complain. We focus on the negative. We tend to focus on what we don't have, what we don't want, what we don't like, and what isn't working in our lives. A lot of our mind is spent on focusing on the negative. The third one is complaining. We complain about everybody, about our spouse, about our kids, about our boss. I can't believe she said that. I can't believe she did that. I can't believe she wore that. I can't believe I was on hold for like an hour and a half the other day. My computer is so slow, these drivers are so crazy, and I can't stand stirring the oil in my natural peanut butter. I can't stand that. We complain about all kinds of things. The next one is that we affirm lack. We say things like, I am always broke. Things never work out for me. You just can't trust people. I can't afford that. We say all these things. Life is unfair. We keep affirming these things that are not of a mindset of more than enough. Another one is that we don't feel worthy. Sometimes we feel good enough, to have a wonderful relationship. Sometimes we don't feel worthy. Sometimes we think we're just going to get the short end of the stick, and we, put scenarios out there that think that we aren't good enough. Another one is fear. This idea, this fear that I better hold on to what I have or I'll lose it. I better hold on to what I have or someone will take it from me. Things just go from bad to worse. Sometimes we just live in this fear of not enough. Number 7 is we have a hard time giving and sharing with others. Sometimes we are so fearful that there's not enough. Sharing and giving is tough. We think by giving we're losing, and by giving we're depleting ourselves. And that's really just a mindset of not enough and not the truth of abundance. And the final one is we have a hard time being happy for other people's success. You ever had a hard time being happy for someone's success? Sometimes we feel a little jealous and we think if they have, it means we don't. We have this win-lose mentality. If they win, then I lose. If they have, it means there's not enough for me. And so these are mindsets and signs that we are living in a consciousness of lack, of not enoughness. And with a mindset like that, sometimes when we're focused on lack and what we don't have and not being worthy, with the law of attraction, we end up attracting more of what we don't want than actually what we do want. And so while we are steeped in a not enough mindset, the truth is that there's more than enough, but we have to recondition our minds into an abundance mindset, into a prosperity consciousness, and into an awareness that there's more than enough. So here are the 4 things we can do to move into a mindset of more than enough. The first one is to connect with the source. I was reading a book this week called The Abundance Book by John Randolph Price, and he said that every single philosophical and spiritual and religious system started with the awareness of all-sufficiency, that there is enough for us. And he said, the ancients taught that the way to understand ourselves was to understand God, and it's through a process of meditation, unifying our mind with the mind of God, consciously connect with the divine, that we could actually bring forth that divine energy and that it would transform discord into harmony, fear into love, lack into abundance, ignorance into wisdom. He said connecting to God, connecting to that source is the source and the path to prosperity. You remember, so when Jesus said, why worry? Don't worry about this stuff. He then gave the answer of how prosperity works, and he said, seek ye first. Don't worry, but seek ye first his kingdom and righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. What he's saying is connect with God, connect with that creative intelligence and source out of which all is possible. When you connect with it and tap into it, that energy will come forth and flow into your life with ease. That you don't have to struggle and keep fighting and making things happen. You can actually allow things to happen, but you have to center in that source energy first. In Psalm 1, it has a thing I love, and it says, that blessed are those who don't dwell in the negative or wickedness, but blessed are those who delight in the law of the Lord and who meditate on God day and night. For that person will be like a tree that is planted by the streams of waters and will always yield its fruit in season, and whose leaves will never wither, and whatever they do will prosper. And what I'm saying is when you quiet and immerse your mind and align your mind and unify your mind in the waters of God, just like a tree, it'll be nourished and it will be blossom in all things. And the tree prospers and grows because it is connected to the source, through quieting your mind and regular meditation. How many people believe in the power of prayer, that it could heal, transform, bring wisdom and insight? How many people believe in the great benefits of meditation? And how many people would say that you probably could pray more frequently and consistently and meditate more consistently? And so we kind of know the answer, but we're not always doing it. I would tell you without a doubt, the single greatest thing you could do to benefit your life is to have a consistent personal prayer life. To meditate consistently on a regular basis. Nothing, and I mean nothing, will impact your life more powerfully than praying and meditating on a regular basis. Jesus prayed in the morning, in the midday, afternoon, evening, and night, because he wanted to show that you have to pray frequently and you have to pray consistently to connect with the source if you want to live in the flow of life, if you want the goodness and all the aspects of God to be present in your life. Here's the interesting I find. Prayer and meditation, you know what's interesting about it? It's free. 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 It's available 24/7. The kingdom of God is within you. It's right there. So why not tap into it? How many people believe that if you prayed and meditated on a consistent, frequent basis, that your life would be more prosperous and abundant? How many people? We all know that. The question is, are you willing to do it and put it into practice? There's a line in Scripture that says, you prosper your soul, you prosper your life. Start at the very core foundation of it, because it's already within us. The question is, are we willing to connect to it and live our lives from it? The second thing is to condition the mind. We might live in an abundant universe, but sometimes our minds are conditioned into lack and limitation. Let me give you an example I use in my prosperity class. There's this huge glass tank with fish in it, and they swim around it, and then after a while they put a glass partition and they block them off and they keep them in just a third of the tank. And after a couple of weeks they take out the glass partition, and yet they only keep swimming in a small little area even though they have the full tank available to them, because they've been conditioned to believe that that's all they've got. We live in an abundant world, yet we live in a small space, playing small, thinking small, because we've been conditioned to believe that there is not enough. So while we've been conditioned to believe in lack and limitation, we can recondition our minds to believe in abundance and the awareness that there's more than enough. Here are 3 ways. Number 1 is to focus on the good in your life. So what are 5 things that are good in your life? 5 things that are working in your life right now. Oh, heck, let's just go for 1. What's 1 thing in your life that's working right now, that's going well? And how about this? What are 5 things you really like about you, that you really appreciate and cherish about you? Okay, let's just go to 1. What's 1 thing you really like about you? And what about, who are the people in your life that make you feel special, that make you feel loved up, who bring a smile to your face? Who are those people? Just thinking about these things, just practicing noticing the good in your life is a valuable and powerful thing to know that there's more than enough. We can either focus on what's not working or what is working, what we don't have or what we really do have, and just focusing in your mind on it begins to expand and increase it in our lives. The second thing to condition our mind is to see the possibilities. If all things are possible, what's possible for your life? What's possible for your relationship? What's possible for your career? What's possible for your finances? what's possible for your health, what's possible for your spiritual growth and your attitude and your outlook. Proverbs 18, I believe, says, where there is no vision, the people perish. And I always flip that around to say, where there is a vision, people prosper. Because when you have a vision, it directs your creative and spiritual energies. So what does your future look like? What is the vision for your life? You know, if I were to say you could be living a fully prosperous life right now, what would that look like? What would be different? What would be better? What would change? See the possibilities. It's a great way to focus the mind. And the third one is to affirm your abundance. There's power in the spoken word. You speak the word, there's an energy and life and creative force about it that raises our vibrational level. I live in abundance. There is always more than enough. Together, I live in abundance. There is always more than enough. I am positive, passionate, and prosperous. Together, I am positive, passionate, and prosperous. I am wonderful, wise, and worthy. Together, I am wonderful, wise, and worthy. All things are working together for my highest good. Together, all things are working together for my highest good. Each and every day, in each and every way, my life is getting better and better and better. Let's say it together. Each and every day, in each and every way, my life is getting better and better and better. One more time. Each and every day, in each and every way, my life is getting better and better and better. Isn't that amazing how speaking words can uplift us and raise our vibration? And it helps us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually because there's creative energy and power in our spoken word. And so reconditioning our mind to abundance is important. Reminding ourselves in moments of lack that we really do live in abundance by focusing on the good, seeing the possibilities, and affirming the abundance. The next one to live a more than enough mindset is to enjoy and appreciate what you have. In the book of John, chapter 4, verse 35, it says, "You say 4 more months until the harvest? Well, I tell you, lift up your eyes and see that the fields are white and ripe for harvest." And what's that saying is that the harvest is now. Some of you think it's now 4 months, sometime down the road. No, it's now. Now your life is ripe for harvest, to truly enjoy it fully and deeply, not putting it off and waiting to some other time. I will tell you, the greatest sign of prosperity is not how much you have, but how much you're enjoying what you have, how much you're using what you have, how much you're appreciating what you have. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being highest, how much are you enjoying your life right now? I want you to think of that number. And let me ask you this question. If your life didn't really change much of how it's going right now, do you think you could get that number that you have now even higher if you gave yourself the permission to enjoy your life more fully now? The correct answer is yes. Okay. And giving yourself permission would be like things. You're just giving yourself permission to slow down a bit. Taste your food. Feel the warmth of the sun on your face. And you can do that at this time of year now. You know, look at the beauty of nature. Enjoy the smile of a child. Behold the beauty of your beloved. I mean, just slowing down and enjoying life. We're so busy chasing a better life that sometimes we miss out on the current life that's going on for us. So I made a list of some of the things I've been enjoying recently. The first one, I enjoyed this card game. Last Thursday, I have these friends and we play cards together, and it is such a hoot. I enjoy it so much. There's a new guy that we invited, and he actually said he hadn't laughed that much in a year. It's so fun to get together with energy of people you care about and just play a game. I'm enjoying, I'm painting my house and renovating my backyard. I'm enjoying that whole process of trying to figure out paint colors and deciding on this, that, and the other thing. There's something wonderfully creative about the process. I love all those home makeover shows, so I kind of like that process. It's fun. You know, going through some change and transformation So marriage and just trying to show up as a good leader to make sure that we prosper and things move along as successfully as possible. I'm enjoying these things called Beyond Burgers. Anybody heard of these things? They're like meatless thing. I think they're pea protein. I just absolutely love them. They look like a burger. They taste like a burger. It's an incredible thing. I just love it. 4 minutes each side, and I got a meal. It's incredible. Here's the interesting thing. So I've been trying to not eat as much red meat and stuff, but here's the interesting thing. It's like we say we don't want to eat meat, but we want to eat things that look like meat and taste like meat. Anyway, I think that's kind of funny. I'm also enjoying the weather. Are we all not? I have heard this phrase. Tell me if you haven't heard either. I've heard this phrase 10 times this week. This is why we live here. Because the weather's so good. This is why we live here. I heard that several times. Another one, I am enjoying all the sports that are on TV right now. The World Series, baseball is going, football's going, hockey and basketball are starting. I can see the joy in all your faces, but if you, I'm feeling it. And the last one is, I feel a joy because I'm starting these new spiritual lessons by Self-Realization Fellowship, the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda, and there's certain meditation techniques and lessons. I find this perspective absolutely insightful because I want to go deeper. And so from a spiritual place, I'm enjoying that experience. Enough of my list. What about your list? What are you enjoying about your life? And what are the things that you are really appreciating and really immersing yourself in that just fill you and make you thankful to be alive? And the last thing to live in a more than enough mindset is to give and share. When we give and we share freely, it really is a mindset of there is more than enough. And it also honors the law of circulation. As we give, things circulate and increase and abundance flows. To hoard and withhold is fear-based, but when we give and when we share, it is from a place of love and gratitude and awareness that there's enough. Trusting and knowing that there's enough, and there'll be even more. Here's how Jesus put it. He said, give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be put into your lap. For the measure you give will be the measure you get back. He's talking about that law. It's a law. Giving, sharing, circulating. Energy moves. See, when life isn't going well, energy is usually stuck. And one of the greatest ways is to give and share in any kind. Giving someone a helping hand, giving someone a gift, giving someone a compliment, opening a door for someone, sharing a sandwich, baking a cake for them, letting someone in rush hour traffic, helping others and being in service. All of them creates more good and energy for all of us. In my previous church, we used to have like potluck Sunday, the first Sunday of the month, and it's like everybody giving and sharing. And the thing is, it was always enough food, but my favorite thing was the energy and vibration on that day of sharing and eating together was just incredible. There was something when we all give and share and work together that really builds connection. It builds closeness. Even volunteering and anywhere in your life, sharing of your gifts to help someone else does something good for you and does great things for them. Whatever it may be, I encourage you. If you want to get a little closer and feel more connected to the ministry, any volunteering, even while you're here on Sunday, to be a greeter or help with the hospitality and coffee or ushering or in the sound booth, whatever it is, giving of yourself. And you always think, man, I don't have enough time. I used to cuddle babies at Homeward Bound. I thought, I don't have enough time. And then there were like 4-hour shifts. But I'll tell you, I started doing it. It was like more time came. Things really work out when you step out and give of yourself. And I'll even go further with it. After my car accident, I was so devastated when I was a kid. I thought my life was over. And my brother recommended I go volunteer because I thought I could never get a job, didn't have one. And so I started volunteering with Goodwill Industries. I volunteered as a literacy trainer. I volunteered at Creative Arts, this cultural center. I sat on their board. I started doing all kinds of different things, working with kids in the prisons. And somehow by focusing on other people and giving, it helped me find myself. It helped me find skills and talents and abilities and how to work with committees and how to help people. It really was kind of a training for kind of what I'm doing now. And the way it was done by just helping other people. Another form of giving that kind of scares us is tithing. tithing 10% of our income to God, to where you're spiritually fed. And I always think about it this way. God gives me 100% of what I have. I get to keep 90 of it, and I give 10 to circulate more good in the world. I think it's a smoking deal. My wait staff, I give them 15 to 20%. God's only asking for 10. Is that not a good deal? I think it's a smoking deal. Here's what it says in Malachi. It says, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse and see if I will not open the windows of heaven for you and pour down an overflowing blessing that you cannot fully receive. And what it's saying, you can't outgive God. The giving in all ways, and back then it was grain. That was their kind of currency. It's like when you give of everything, energy moves and things flow in great ways. This ministry ties 10% of what comes in to give out into places that are doing work that inspires us. You know, we give to organizations that help people who are going through abuse or homelessness, food banks, rescuing animals, because it's powerful and it's important to keep that flow and circulation going in all areas of our lives. You know, we all have moments where we feel like there's not enough. You ever gotten a bill and you're freaked out about, oh my God, I don't have enough? You know, I call that a lack attack. We have them from time to time, and we think that there isn't enough. You know, but the truth is we live in abundance. We're just not always tuned into it. And we have to be our own best coach to remind ourselves and help recondition our minds to the truth and the natural state that we live in a universe that is abundant and unlimited. And the way to do that, again, connect to the source. Seek that spiritual source within. Be at one with it, and then let it lead and flow through you to add great things to your life. Number 2 is condition your mind by focusing on the good, seeing the possibilities, and affirming your abundance. Appreciate and enjoy what you have. Let yourself enjoy it as much, because it is the greatest indicator of a prosperous life. And finally, give and share. Circulate that good, because it will increase the flow in your life. If you want a life of abundance, you just need to remember to live from the mindset of more than enough. God bless you all.